Howdy, are we the only ones here?
So far.
I am going to be off screen because I am taking care of errands as I'm listening in.
Perfect.
My
Feel
husband's
free
been
to just
stuck on the
unmute and speak up if there's anything that feels.
awesome. Yeah, he got stuck on the boat for unforeseeable future,
Oh
so
no.
I get to pick up his all of his chores.
Um, is he out at sea or?
Yeah, it's because he's actually a really good welder. So when they have issues, like he's working on a ton of pylons out in the Delaware Bay.
Oh,
So,
huh.
mhm.
That's what you get
Success.
for being good at your job.
Exactly. Still only us? No one's joining us?
Not yet. I'm guessing it'll be a really small meeting. I think Jacit's not coming. She just
Mm,
keeps flaking on things. And then Annette, Adam Peterson. It's just not a very big committee.
group.
Yeah.
No, it is funny that you say that because like 6 years ago, the Coast Guard offered, hey, do you guys want to learn this trade? And he's always wanted to be a welder. And since then, they've sent him to, unfortunately, the wall down in Texas and all the things.
Oh
The
God.
second they see that he has that and they see like what he's done, they're like, congrats, you are now one of my elite employees.
Oh, ugh. Yeah, that's awful. And I hope he's getting paid better for it than he would be otherwise.
Oh no, it's the military. Heck no. Heck no.
You just do what you're told, damn it.
You just do what you're told. I mean, they give him awards, so he gets these little things to put on his chest candy, but no, no.
Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Annette. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Justine.
Good
Morning.
morning.
Who is facilitating today?
I
Anyone?
can I can do it.
Right. Here's pull up here. Intro slides for us and make sure we are recording. Oh, yes, we are recording. These are the right slides. I just opened them twice.
All right. I am working. I just got moved in my office so that I am now at a I my and none of my tech is working. So just know that's why you're getting a side profile because like my camera isn't working, my laptop's over here, my screens are over here, and like this one of the screens is not working, and so like I'm like having to toggle back and forth between like screens that aren't making sense. Like, anyways, so I may be a little bit discombobulated, and I apologize to you all because of it. Um, but welcome to our um, uh, the Membership and Development Committee of SOCAC. I think since we're being recorded, I'll be official. It is the date is Friday.
He's frozen for everybody else, right?
Yeah, okay. I thought
Correct,
it was
yeah.
just me for a second.
I
We're all
love the
so
like
polite.
the 2 seconds of seeing everybody's collective like head tilt of inquisitiveness. It's like, is it me? Is it someone else?
Oh, poor Adam. Adam, you're frozen.
We lost Adam.
I mean, it is Friday, June 5th, 8:32 p.m. a.m., not p.m. And this is the Membership and Development Committee. Um, our group agreements in this space are to be present and participate. I don't even know that we have quorum. We have Annette and Jacete. We gotta wait for Adam. There we go. Is 3 members quorum in this committee, Corinna? Okay. Then we have the bare minimum. You're back, Adam.
Uh, you guys, tech issues are like just one of the most frustrating things in the world when it's like I know this stuff is probably really simple, like the wrong thing is plugged into the wrong thing, but then when nothing works, it like and I know you guys are all cool and you're not mad at me, but I'm like so heated like in my like I'm like right at the surface right now.
Like
So
0 to angry, just like
yes.
with the slightest
Yes.
frustration. Yes.
Yes, that is the at which you find me at this exact moment. So but we
I said the
are
date and time and the committee
okay,
name. So that's on the recording. I was just
great.
starting to read through the group agreements. And then I was like, oh, we can't do that because Adam's not here. And without Adam, we don't have quorum.
Yeah.
So now you're back. So we have
All
quorum.
right. All right. Group agreements, be present, and participate, listen actively, respect others when they speak, avoid interrupting, avoid acronyms, use the chat to write definitions or ask for clarification. Varied and opposing ideas are welcome. Challenge ideas, not people. Honor those with quieter voices. Lean in or lean back. Use the names and pronouns people introduce themselves with. Focus on our purpose, improving the system of care in Oregon, and be mindful of the power dynamics in the room. Propose solutions and consider and elevate voices not in the room. Intentionally include and advocate for perspectives that may be missing, and support diverse experiences and ensure decision making reflects a wide range of lived experience. Morning, Tyson.
Good
Sorry,
morning.
I muted myself. Would you mind reading, or Tyson or somebody reading the systemic oppression language on the left of the slide as well? Oh, Tyson, you got your hair cut. You look nice.
Well, it's
Okay,
just
okay.
kind
Oh,
of
it's
that.
just it's all back. You're just very slick today. Good to
SOCAG
see
acknowledges the harm and systemic oppression of historically marginalized groups at the hands of Oregon's governmental institutions and system partners. These systems include education, child welfare, criminal justice, health and disability services, and other systems where the overrepresentation of marginalized populations exists. Of particular concern are Black and Brown families of historically marginalized communities, LGBTQ plus youth, and tribal children and families.
Thank you very much, Jasid.
Yeah.
And these are our voting members. Everyone is here today except for Zafir Michael Berry, who is not able to make it. And here now is our agenda, dear chair.
Wonderful. So we're going to start out by reviewing what we've got on the docket for our recruitment efforts, for our current people of lived experience voices, continue to brainstorm where else we need to and can show up, and figure out how we're going to do that. And then we're going to talk through the expiring uh, memberships that are in the next couple or in the next few months, and including a couple that we know are going to be much harder to recruit for, and talk through ideas and suggestions for those. And then we are going to review our orientation materials and our leadership training plans, and then really just touch base on our schedule for the next few months, ensuring that we are on the right track with and do where we need to be to do all this work that is uh, understanding that all of us are many of us have other day jobs and that we are fitting this into our day jobs and figuring out if we do need to ask for support from other parts of SOCAC as well. So, with that, let's move to our outreach strategies and what's happening thus far. So you all, I'll now go with what I know of, and then Anna, if you want to hop in from there.
Do you want
You
the agenda up in front of you, Adam, or do you want just like the tiles of face?
The tiles of people would be fine. Um, I'd rather see faces than names or the.
Can we do a blood pressure check on Adam?
I have to do a wellness check before the meeting's over.
Gonna put the agenda in the chat, but then he won't get to see it when he gets back. So that's just another reason for him to be frustrated. Poor Adam.
I do not know Adam in real life as well, but I do have some gamer friends, and I don't think if they were in Adam's shoes, that headset would have a very long lifespan.
It's about to
Well,
get
I
ripped
mean,
off and thrown across the room. I mean,
maybe
we can keep going, right?
we can
Like,
start with your report then, Anna.
sorry to
Anything
see
you
what?
saw? Because Adam was mentioning that after his little report out, you can report out on anything else. So maybe we can start with yours.
I don't know what I would be reporting on. Did I miss that?
Any kind of recruitment efforts
Oh,
or
recruitment efforts that we've done. Okay, sure. So I mean, Adam, I know sent the email out to sort of a broad group of people. I think Annette, you've shared it through your networks. I'm not sure Tyson, I haven't been CC'd on those things, but that I don't need to be necessarily. And then a couple of folks have reached back out to say, can you come talk to us. So we're gonna go. I can't remember if it's Adam or me. Gonna go talk to the juvenile department directors. They have some youth advisors that at the county juvenile level that might be interested. And obviously, we're looking for youth with experience in the county juvenile legal system. So that feels like a good connection. Um, the local system of care coordinators got it and shared it out through their networks, and then the ones who are working in partnership with Youth Era, their local Youth Era, um, like Nate Latanzio and whoever else does like Youth Era organizing on the ground. I think they have three or four where they have youth drop-in sites that are like partnered up informally or formally with local systems of care. They are also doing recruitment at their local like youth drop centers or through their youth support specialists, like their youth peer networks as well. So those are the outreach networks that I'm aware of. Adam, if you want to add to what where you've been pushing on outreach or where you've done presentations or whatever you have to start with.
First is next week we are presenting to OYA leadership about their supervisors huddle about SOCAC and about both the parent and or adult and youth recruitment, and hopefully get some good ideas from there. Sandra's been super helpful. Already sent us a couple people who happen to unfortunately be too old, but we are going to be presenting to there. And then at this point, I've asked for those of you who are on the Family Advisory Committee and the Youth Advisory Committee, and then Anderson with REAP to begin just sending out far and wide the recruitment notice and also giving us, if there are opportunities to present, sending them our way. And they haven't like honestly, nothing's gotten scheduled with those. But happy, like I've told folks that like have meeting, we'll travel. Like where do you want us? We'll be there. So we are very open for the month of June. If I can't do it, connecting with any of you that would, I'm sure, be able to speak about SOCAC, the responsibilities, and just walk people through what recruitment would be like. So that's what we're doing at this point. We really want to be responsive to folks as they're uh, bringing opportunities to us. So yeah, let me know if you guys have if there's some spaces that you're not that you're already recognizing that we're not seeing and that we need to be connecting with.
Josie, did you ever hear back on the tribal outreach that you did?
I did not. I can circle
Oh.
back with them and see if I don't maybe that one does anything, but never heard back. Um, I know Christy had mentioned sending out some feelers too. Um,
Maybe you want to
just
follow up with her and see if she did that.
yeah.
I'm also gonna meet at the maybe in a week or two, it depends on how schedules align, with the woman who organizes there's a like a retreat for foster youth who are aging out of the system that they do at Western Oregon University, or they used to do it at Western Oregon. I think they do it at PSU now. And I talked about connecting her with her and whether this would it's actually for a different thing, but adding this to that list of like, hey, also if they're interested, we have two seats that they might be a good fit for. So I'll put it on her radar. And then I don't know, Vanessa and Annette, FAC made a really great recruitment tool. I don't know if there's anything that either of you would want to say about that.
Sure. As committees themselves individually, so far we've received three separate applications that have been officially submitted. Of the three applications for various committees, it's been data, program, and policy, investments, and what was the last one? Membership. Yeah. Hey, membership development. So we have one application for each committee, and we still have three others that are interested, however, still want to look through archives before they make their decision on which they prefer. Then we're going to go back as leadership team and determine who is best fit, just to make sure we have equal representation across the state, across systems. As for the governor appointed seats, I believe we also have two that are interested that we are working to support and completing the application. Annette, anything you would like to add?
Now the other than the policy committee is pretty hot. Everybody wants in
I
on
know.
that.
I know. It's not as exciting in there as think people think it is. And just an update on the actual workday side of things. So we have two folks from the Family Advisory Committee or who have reached out to Family Advisory to want to apply for the governor appointed seats. That I haven't seen their applications come through. And then we have one person who has submitted an application in Workday for
Okay.
the parent seat so far. So I
Okay.
know Annette was going to reach out to one person. So she's trying to fill the application out on her phone, and that's not easy. And so Annette's going to try to give her some
Yes.
technical
Give her some
assistance and
support.
support to get the application through Workday. We have asked if people could like submit it via a Word document or something, and the governor's office is like, nope, if they can't fill out an application online, they are not eligible for appointment by the governor's office. So they have to submit it via Workday.
All right, so we've already got some applications. That's great. Um, One thing just to note, at this point, we're telling people like get your applications in by the end of June. That is like for this committee to know, like that is a deadline that can be extended if we feel like we need to, or there are a lot of folks who we're working with who haven't quite gotten it in yet, gotten their applications in yet, or and actually the application never closes. This is just our first we're calling it the prioritized review period. And so if you, it, it I guess what I'll just like again say it's a little bit flexible. We are hoping to be able to begin doing like interviews at the beginning of July. If we have to extend that, we can.
Okay. Okay. We
One
made
of
up
the
the rule
things
so we
that,
can just make a new one. Is that what
sorry.
you're saying, Adam?
What was that?
We made up the rule so we can just make up a new one.
It's not making up a new rule. It's being flexible with the rules we've enforced or that we're.
Got you. And what were you saying, Annette? I'm sorry, I talked over.
One of the things that keeps coming up in the FAQ is the process. So once folks submit the application, especially for the committees and for the seats, what does that process look like? Get a lot of questions about how we are going through the applications. What are we looking for? I think it's laid out in the doc sheet, but folks are really interested on what the process looks like.
What the process has been, and again, this is all stuff that if there is a better way to do this, let me know. What has been happening to this point is we have been reviewing all completed applications, and as long as they've met kind of a minimum criteria of do you fit the criteria we are recruiting for this role, we then are creating an interview panel that's featured SOCAC like non people with lived experience voices and people with lived experience voices on every interview committee we've had, and we've tried to get those scheduled within a few weeks of completed like application review. And so that has been our policy to this point. We've only had one interview, and then our interview panelists have had a connect about the open seats that are available, review their notes, and determine if there is a strong fit or a strong like either a fit or like this does not feel like this would be the right place for this person. Let's have them go to the Family Advisory Council to get some experience first, or let's have them go to like have this person go to the Youth Advisory Council. And so that's been our process of again, apply, meet minimum criteria, meet with members of SOCAC, the interview panelists, then determine the best fit for the open seats.
So when we have like a format, right? So remember we have you read the applications and you score them. I'm trying to find a blank one, but I'm not doing it. I'm not succeeding, but there's 5 criteria. So if they meet our sort of like they, have the right level of engagement or the right type of involvement with the system to be eligible for the seat, then we have 5 criteria that were DEI alignment. Does the candidate demonstrate alignment with our equity strategy? And some examples of what that would look like. Does the candidate have the authority within the system they represent to make funding and policy decisions? We won't use that one for these because, of course, these folks do not have a whole lot of authority within systems formally. Does the candidate's role provide statewide opportunities for impacting the children's system of care? We might want to change some of these because these don't seem to super fit for lived experience seats. Does the candidate seem likely to add to the SOCAT culture in a positive manner? And how important is it to have this candidate's unique perspective on the council? Do they bring a lens we don't already have? And then the scale is 0 to 4. So like a 5-part Likert, but instead of 1 to 5, it's like doesn't have this at all or meets or exceeds criteria are the ends of the scale. So for those 2 center ones, statewide reach and authority, I don't know if you want to make recommendations for other ways to adjust those, or if we just want to look at equity, alignment, fit, and perspective as the criteria for these seats.
I think if there are changes that are made, that this is shared if it's possible, or just an overview, because that's the biggest piece of transparency. How are folks being weighed? That's the biggest, right? Annette, other than what's the process, is how are they determining to choose one candidate over the other? The question again of how transparent is SOCAC when it comes to their decision making.
See if I can. What do you think? Do you want to use the 5 criteria? Do you want to use 3 criteria and remove the 2 that don't seem appropriate for this population? I can draft some other things up, but your guidance would be useful, or we can just cut it down to 3.
I would say do the 3 that applies, and then let's work together to craft it and make it as plain language and just clear exactly of what you're looking at, this team is looking at.
What do the rest of you think? Annette?
I agree with that. Yes.
Okay. I can update the scorecard. And then we can just give them a blank copy of the scorecard. I mean, just for their awareness, right? Not asking for them to edit it or make recommendations for improvement, but just like, this is what we're using. So here's the transparency that you're requesting. Okay. Anything else in terms of where else you want to do outreach or ensuring broad coverage? Okay. We'll put your agenda back up for you.
All right. Well, thank you all for the recruitment strategies, and Vanessa, really appreciate the uh I process transparency, bringing light to that is a question that people have. So that's super, super helpful. We can definitely uh create insight into what goes into this. Um, so then we have some open seats coming up that are some of which are going to be probably very challenging to recruit for, and some that we're going to be replacing some very, very some people who've been along for a long time. So we're going to be losing some strong experience on SOCAC. So you can see in the on the agenda, Kyle Johnson is our child psychiatrist. Anna and I have already talked about this one as being one that we need to start looking at recruiting as early as possible for this. As many of you know, there is a severe lack of child psychiatry in Oregon. And then from there, we are asking a lot of people's time that is of challenge for psychiatrists to give. And so we're going to be working with Kyle on some opportunities that he may know about uh, to connect with some folks, and then really start highlighting this need coming up soon. Same with Dan as a private insurance rep. That is another one that is going to be probably a little more challenging than some of our traditional system representatives that work with us on a day-to-day basis. So with a foster, Adam was a foster provider. That is again, there are going to be definitely some challenges in replacing him, but
Adam's been replaced.
He has been?
He has been. Yes. This is news that I have not shared because we have not made a plan for how we share it yet. But y'all might want to help with that plan. So Adam about a year ago was like, you're gonna lose both your chairs. Annette's terming out, and I'm terming out the next year after that. And like this is gonna be chaos, right? And so we've started putting conversations in motion way back then, and the person who has been approved to replace Adam as of January 2nd, 2027 is Anna Day, and she will not only replace him as a foster provider, but she will also replace him as the governor's choice of chair for the SOCAC. So that work is done. She was going to start coming to Adams and my supervision meetings in July when her time as the chair of the Alliance is complete. And she also sits on the Behavioral Health Committee, Adam Peterson. So it's like a little bit of the universe coming together.
That is, I knew she was stepping in for Adam as chair. I did not know that that was the same role that she was stepping into as for SOCAC. So
Yep.
that is helpful. So we can cross that one off the list a little bit. Um, then Andrew Grover, an outpatient service provider, and then Jackie's role was what the first term ends, and
Organization who advocates for families,
okay.
and she's also not in that position anymore. That was when she was at the SAGE program at
Mhm.
Morrison and really leading their family support services for parents of kids who have experienced trafficking. So her term ends, she's also not in the same job. Like, that's a thing to have a conversation about. Is it about her? Is it about her position? She is a great advocate for families, but if she's not in that role anymore, is it appropriate? And then so that's a conversation for y'all to make some recommendations around. And then we are losing both of our youth co-chairs.
Um, Jacide, have you thought about not aging?
I considered it.
Okay. All
No,
right.
I guess I didn't bold this. Zafir's only at the end of his first term, so we could
Okay.
just renew him if he wants to, right? So that is not as big of a deal as I just made it out to be.
Okay. Well, if I would be curious from the committee, knowing that there are some folks, some roles that are likely to be challenging to, or everyone, we always want to find the right people with the right skills, knowledge and abilities, and representation to be on our committee. So not one person is not more valuable than the other, but I'm just curious if folks are looking at this list thinking, um, and Tyson, I saw you come off mute, so I'd be curious your thoughts.
I know a couple child psychiatrists that I could reach out to that might be a good fit, but also a couple nurse practitioners, psychiatrist nurse practitioners. Are we looking for a psychiatrist specifically, or would a prescribing nurse practitioner uh,
I don't
qualify
know
as
the answer
one?
to that question. Let me check the statute, and then I actually have an appointment with the governor's appointments director this afternoon, or later this morning, so I can ask her as well. I think it literally just says child psychiatrist. One psychiatrist, one psychologist, and one pediatric physician, each of whom must have clinical experience with youth. Is she, or are they a do they have psychiatrist in the name of their title?
Nurse practitioner, psychiatrist. Yeah, it's just not a doctor; it's a nursing degree instead. The
I would fight for that.
Okay, cool. I'll reach out to them also. That widens the pool quite a bit.
Yeah. And nurses at the table, always thumbs up for me.
Yeah, if we can get just clarity on psychiatric nurse practitioners and that role counting, that would increase our pool of potential people by a lot and would be fantastic.
I'll ask Brandy later today. I'm writing
Cool.
it
Um,
down.
so just off the top of my head and knowing kind of the what SOCAC asks of our members, I am anticipating that child psychiatrist role to be a challenging one, and then also the private insurance role. And therefore, as soon as we are done with this round, and we can even do some of it concurrently of starting the outreach to the either the psychiatric nurse practitioners or the psychiatrist folk, and then working with Dan to figure out if he has some contacts within private insurance who could be good fits to or connect with to start talking to them about SOCAC. That would be my preferred. Those would be my preferred kind of places to start with these recruitments because we can't do them all concurrently. That's just too much, I think, for any of us to take on. But I'm curious, folks, are you okay with us starting to prioritize the outreach to the psychiatrist and private insurance as the first two places alongside the people with lived experience voices?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
For Andrew, I think it'll be somewhat easy, right? Like we have a lot of visibility with the outpatient service provider, so just some, I mean, essentially it's probably some other member of the alliance, right? Like we have that. With also just for awareness, Adam Rodakowski is cycling in as chair of the alliance as Anna Day is coming off. So our ongoing, very deep connection with them will be maintained. And so there, if we need somebody who's outpatient, we will have a connection to them. With regard to Jackie, it's her first term, so we could, like I said, potentially just renew. So that kind of is the easy button there, Adam.
Hmm.
And then with Jasid and Zafir, if Zafir, Zafir's in a transition phase in his life, it may be that he isn't wanting to continue, but we are already recruiting youth, and so we
Yep.
may, through that recruitment, see some eligible folks come in that we would want to consider for these seats as well. So their timelines wouldn't be the same, but there's no reason we can't consider that application later this year if it comes in
Hmm.
for the June prioritized process.
Great. So if we meet some people who would be strong fits, we would be able to either keep them and appoint them when Zafir signs on, or okay, great. That's super helpful to know too.
Yeah, yeah, we can hold those. And we just want to be honest about communication with them, right?
Yep.
Like it could be July, it could be January.
Okay. Okay.
Also, that I have a question about the Andrew Grover seat. That's child serving agencies, right?
Yes, I'll give you the exact words.
Okay.
Pediatric commercial. So, three members who are representatives of agencies that provide different services and supports to youth and families of youth. And then we have divided that into inpatient, outpatient, and foster care.
Okay.
So we could say we don't need to be that specific. It could be anybody that does treatment. Anything else on there, sir? Facilitator.
I
Okay.
do not believe so.
So orientation materials and leadership training plans. Do you want to see some?
Yeah, I'd love to see what folks have already put together for this.
Let's see. So many calendar attachments open right now. Sorry. My calendar is like I'm not even trying to open. Start over, Anna. It's on your calendar appointment too, just in case you are the kind of person for whom calendar appointments actually do come through from Outlook. Open. So this is an orientation onboarding guide that was created in conversation with our lived experts as well as Joylene. It is how many pages long? 7 pages long, and really just sort of tries to help describe the structure of the council and how we do what we do. And then we have then that is attached to your calendar invitation. And then there was, I thought, yeah, here we go. Another more extensive document. We also have our bylaws, which are pretty dry, but give a really uh, clear indicator of how we do what we do, right? They're the actual rules. Oh my gosh. Okay. This document exists or existed online. It doesn't meet the ADA accessibility standards, and then we've been making updates. So this has already been sent to the OHA. it's called OHA Pubs. I don't know if it stands for something, but it's like the folks who make documents pretty and make sure that they meet all the design guidelines for the Oregon Health Authority, and they do stuff for us too. So like maybe use a different image that feels less corporate, right? Like we've already submitted all of this feedback to them. So this document, you'll see all of these comments and additions on the side that are how we are changing what was created in 2024 to better describe what is happening in SOCAC 2.0, because 2024 was 1.0 or whatever. We could argue how you want to number the versions of SOCAC, but we're in a new phase now. So I don't know, Adam, how you want to walk through any of this, but that's what we've got. Those should be on your calendar appointments so you can see them yourselves as well.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe this should be more of just the focus of our July meeting, since we could talk more about, we should have interviews basically scheduled or have a really good sense of who our candidates are going to be for the lived experience voices. And then we could then we'll do our interviews. And then that if we do this in the July period where we review this quite a bit more, and take the time just to ensure that we've got everything we need, this is ready for people to do, and then assign roles of who's going to do it with these folks. I think I might prefer that way if folks are open to that and are using our July meeting that way. Just see, Annette, does that work for you all, Tyson?
Works for me.
Works
That
for
way
me.
you have some time to dig into the documents and look at them. My hope is that we'll have this. Corinna, I think you just gave me a deadline when the pubs team said they would have this back, or was that a different document?
They are working on slightly different documents right now. They're working on our appointed and non-appointed member roles and expectations guide. That also feeds in and is linked into our new and updated bylaws.
And I think it's actually in here too. So that's part of why this is like a little bit messy, because making the links work in here, they have to live on this document server that we don't actually have access to. So in here, there is some information on how you get paid, and it links to those 3 documents that we made about like if you're appointed and you get 178, if you're coming to a focus group and you get 50, right? And then there's like a visual aid that we made that's like, if you do these things, it's for this money. If you do these things, it's for this money. So all of that also has to get through the pub's machine in order to be like linkable from this document wherever you are in the world. It would just open up a PDF from the internet. So that's all happening and in process. So feel free to please do read through this document. We can probably still submit changes. I would say some of the things to think about is to Adam's point, who do you want to have providing these documents and talking through them? Is it people from this committee? Is it our contractors? So would it be Vanessa and Elliot working with our people with lived experience? Would we have those same people working with our provider partners? Right. What does it look like? Related, we are in process of bringing on Brooke Reiser from the Portland State University's System of Care Institute to create onboarding for the local system of care coordinators. And there is an option down the road for us to expand her contract and have her create onboarding for our lived experts, our agency friends, our provider friends, right? So we could do something, not this time around, but in the future, as y'all walk through this, if you are like, this is stupid, let's hire a professional to do it, that's a recommendation we could make to the budget committee, to the investments and finance committee for next biennium. Sorry for talking so much, Adam, but
No, that's perfect. There's so much going on that it's good to know you're the expert. We're all just living it.
I'm the hub here, whether we like it
Yeah,
or not.
yeah, yeah.
Anything else on that topic that you all want to make sure we're talking about or planning for?
I'm going to assign everybody homework then that we do take the next month and review the orientation and onboarding guide prior to our next meeting so that we can come with meaningful feedback and really do like we will finish either do what we need to do about getting the interviews, scheduling the like figuring out next steps for what like the current recruitments are going to look like, and then we'll kind of do a deeper dive on this document with ensuring that when we do get people through and then appointed, they've got the onboarding ready to go. So that will be our homework for the month of June until we meet in July. We are about a half an hour ahead of schedule, which is always a good thing. I don't think anybody ever minds being a meeting ending a little early. And it looks like we're also right on time with our July meeting being those logistics for interviews and onboarding, which is perfect. And then August looking for all of, or will hopefully be in a place where we will have then identified our four new lived experience voices and being and well into the recruitment for our at a minimum, the child psychiatrist and private insurance roles. And then we might even take a little bit of time off from this committee and orient the folks that are new to SOCAC and then yeah, not meet again until December. That's the hope. I appreciate you all being flexible enough, adding additional time to your schedules to make these monthly meetings work for now while we're doing this initial recruitment. I think it's super, super helpful for us to all connect on a monthly basis at this point. I think quarterly wouldn't have worked with all the different things going on right now as we've gotten this off the ground.
Fabulous. We'll send out meeting notes
Wonderful.
probably next week
Cool.
with all your assignments in them.
Well, thanks everybody. I hope everyone has a
Thank
lovely
you.
weekend, and we will connect again in July, but you'll probably get a bunch more emails from me soon about what we need to do. If anybody needs to present any of this, any of our recruitment activities to different groups. So just, yeah, monitor inboxes, but appreciate you all your time. And thanks everybody for all you're doing.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye.